Yeah, she be riding to the end of the poems, you feel it all in your soul. I'm about to kick down the door, you heard me knocking, always stick to the code. Walk what I'm talking, now they feeling me flow. So feel me, she be riding to the end of the road, while I'm just writing these poems, you feel it all in your soul. I'm about to kick down the door, you heard me knocking, always stick to the code. Walk what I'm talking, now they feeling my flow. So feel me, flow. Keep it original, what's a stereotypical? Flipping it like reciprocal, better turn up the decibels. Treacherous like the naughty, by nature to beat our body. I'm kicking it like karate, I'm kicking it with your shotty. That OPP, then proceed right to the lobby. Think you seen Carl T on the scene? I mean probably, but you ain't visualizing the truth. In actuality, display proof when I get loose and make a masterpiece. No limit, I'm trying to hustle like Master P. Gon' stack it up gradually, hold it down like gravity. Run it just like an athlete. I see the changes happening, I know that they gon' feel me flow. That's why they after me. She be riding to the end of the road while I'm just writing these poems, you feel it all in your soul. I'm about to kick down the door, you heard me knocking, always stick to the code. Walk what I'm talking, now they feeling me flow. So feel me, she be riding to the end of the road while I'm just writing these poems, you feel it all in your soul. I'm about to kick down the door, you heard me knocking, always stick to the code. Walk what I'm talking, now they feeling my flow. So feel me, wasn't feeling me before, I bet they feeling me now. I feel the pressure coming down, but that's to stick to my style. It's only getting better, I'm just putting it together like puzzles. I gotta figure it out. Been a while, but I get it only way I know how. I'm just saying how I'm living, check to check out here. It's frustrating, but I got the nerve to be out here and complaining. Got to hustle, get it by any means and maintain it. We rearranging the game and keep playing. Got the jokers in my hands, so I laugh when they throw aces. You ain't adjacent, that's why that you'll never make it. Complacent, best bet is mine for the taking. It's most hate. She be riding to the end of the road while I'm just writing these poems, you feel it all in your soul. I'm about to kick down the door, you heard me knocking, always stick to the code. Walk what I'm talking, now they feeling me flow. So feel me, she be riding to the end of the road while I'm just writing these poems, you feel it all in your soul. I'm about to kick down the door, you heard me knocking, always stick to the code. Walk what I'm talking, now they feeling my flow. So feel me flow. Yeah, she be riding to the end of the road while I'm just writing these poems, you feel it all in your soul. I'm about to kick down the door, you heard me knocking, always stick to the code. Walk what I'm talking, now they feeling me flow. So feel me, she be riding to the end of the road while I'm just writing these poems, you feel it all in your soul. I'm about to kick down the door, you heard me knocking, always stick to the code. Walk what I'm talking, now they feeling my flow. So feel me, flow. Keep it original, what's a stereotypical? Flipping it like reciprocal, better turn up the decibels. Treacherous like the naughty, by nature to beat our body. I'm kicking it like karate, I'm kicking it with your shotty. That OPP, then proceed right to the lobby. Think you seen Carl T on the scene? I mean probably, but you ain't visualizing the truth. In actuality, display proof when I get loose and make a masterpiece. No limit, I'm trying to hustle like Master P. Gon' stack it up gradually, hold it down like gravity. Run it just like an athlete. I see the changes happening, I know that they gon' feel me flow. That's why they after me. Yeah, she be riding to the end of the road while I'm just writing these poems, you feel it all in your soul. I'm about to kick down the door, you heard me knocking, always stick to the code. Walk what I'm talking, now they feeling me flow. So feel me, she be riding to the end of the road while I'm just writing these poems, you feel it all in your soul. I'm about to kick down the door, you heard me knocking, always stick to the code. Walk what I'm talking, now they feeling my flow. So feel me, wasn't feeling me before, I bet they feeling me now. I feel the pressure coming down, but that's to stick to my style. It's only getting better, I'm just putting it together like puzzles. I gotta figure it out. Been a while, but I get it only way I know how. I'm just saying how I'm living, check to check out here. It's frustrating, but I got the nerve to be out here and complaining. Got to hustle, get it by any means and maintain it. We rearranging the game and keep playing.
Yo,
What up? What up? What up? What up?
we out here. We out here.
What up, y'all?
Kick it off, Vita, man. What you got to say, dog?
Oh yeah, number one. Number one. Woo. Let's go.
Number
Ready to go,
one.
Hornets.
Go
Going to Hornets on the line, baby. Get to the ring, Melo! All right, cool. Let's go. Let's go.
Y'all don't know.
Ready to go.
The NBA
Yeah,
playoff play-ins is happening right now.
Right now.
We're going to get into that in depth a little bit later, but that's why this man is all charlotted out. It's not
Let's
a
go.
word, but whatever. But you know, what's good, man? How you doing, dog?
Are we good? Is we good? Everything good your way?
Oh, man. Everything's smooth. Everything's smooth. You know,
Let's go,
the work week is almost over. Tomorrow's my Friday, and then I get one day off and then back to work. But you know, it is what it is. It's life.
Yep, tomorrow's my Friday, and then I was supposed to go to Texas this weekend. My wife, but we ended up canceling that. Well, we just trying to get other stuff done before we dip out. She was like, all right, cool, we can hold it off. So I was supposed to have a 4-day weekend, but I'll have a 3. I'll get through, work it out. We've been busy all this week planning for Malia's birthday, beginning of next month. So, yeah, we've been getting all that together.
Y'all got another trip planned instead?
Yeah, we're going to try. Well, I got like Memorial Day off the Monday, so I'm like, you know what, maybe I could dip out that weekend and still go to Texas for a little bit. You know, enough for my wife to see her aunt to get down there, and then think about going to North Carolina for the 4th of July.
Ooh.
So that's where we're at.
Hey man, that's dope. Y'all taking some more. That's dope. Y'all taking some more trips.
I'm everywhere today.
What's the score?
We're still down 10, but it's Terry's first 3. Yeah, it's Terry's first 3. So like, I need him to hit that. He's missed some ones that questionable shooting, but he's missed. So
they held on to that last game that y'all played against them.
Yeah.
They held on to that.
We good to go though.
Anyways, man, you know the week has been cool. Everything been cool. We just been vibing, man.
That's what's up.
Trying to get through the week. I've been man. Hey, how's the gym going? You've been on it heavy. What this?
Yeah. So I've adjusted my schedule just because our transportation doesn't. I don't feel like it's feasible in the moment while we get our second car fixed. So I'm gonna do guaranteed 4 days a week. I'm taking off Wednesdays. So instead of waking up on 4:30, I go to workout in the morning, 4:30 before work. Take Wednesdays off, especially because we have this. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna just be honest. Like I was like, I could go, but I just think it's best just to kind of get my body just a quick reset. Get ready for here tonight. Tomorrow morning, I'm definitely gonna go. Friday this week because the kids will be out of school. All that. I think I'm gonna just still go in the morning early. Because I don't get the cardio time that I want because I'm so limited because I gotta finish there, come here and get ready with the kids for school until we get the car fixed. So tomorrow, Friday morning, I could definitely go early and like really have a full like 2 hours. I usually get like an hour max, like an hour to really get in there and get in and out. So like I'm like timing myself, I'm keeping breaks short and all of that. But once that's done, probably in like I sent you the thing of the way I'm gonna work out for the next like 4 weeks. Yeah. Whatever. After that, hopefully like, you know, again, our car is fixed and then I can have a good hour 45, close to 2. Then I know at that time I'm gonna be really engaged on cutting down the lifting and trying to go as hard as I can and just in cardio and stamina, the things that I know that I hate to do. That's what I'm gonna do. But let me tell you what I did do. Something that I feel like you would appreciate. I went to hoop yesterday, right? Yeah. So, but when I'm at the gym, when I go to the gym in the afternoon, I know somebody's gonna be in the gym. So I go in there and say, hey, who wants to run 21? Who wants to run? I'm cool with running 21 because I can guard everybody. I'm pushing myself for cardio. We get in there to hoop. Nobody's really that good. One guy's pretty good. The other guy, he's just the tallest guy in the building, right? Everybody else, cool. The youngest dude in there has got to be a high schooler. And he plays every part of like a kid who knew nothing but Steph Curry when he grew up. And he absolutely sucked. He sucked. When I say I went in, I said, hey, first 4 to make it on teams. Because I don't like when people pick and do. I'm like, yo, just hoop. They made it. He was on my team. He literally showed us the game. When he got the ball, he didn't pass. He shot everything. He didn't play defense. The tall dude goes, hey, we got to change this up. He's the only one who didn't realize that game was non-competitive because of him. So he gets him on. Yeah, he thinks he blew us out. He manhandled us. All of that. We changed teams. The best guy in the gym at the time, I got him on my team. So he was like, hey, yo, bro, I got you. Like, he picked me. Like, we didn't even do shooting. He captain. He was like, bro, I got you first. He picked me over the top, dude. He's like, bro, I got you first. Like, all right, bet. Picked up the other two dudes. Cool, bro. That little white, like, bro, he got so exposed because every time he was on defense, we went straight at him. We was like, you got no defense. You don't play no. Hey, the tall dude wanted to snap on him, but you could tell they didn't know each other. He was like, bro, and the dude was like, man, no, bro, nobody's like, nah, bro.
Where's
You
my
were
help
playing
at?
yeah, like, nah, that's on you. You not talking, you not switching, you not helping, so you getting exposed. So every time the tall dude would try to run out and ball up, bro, we was exposing that little boy. He was so mad. I was like, y'all gotta learn to play defense, bro. I hate hooping with this little generation.
Hey, that's why I stopped playing at the gyms, man. That and there's
Yeah.
always an old head there that want to fight. There's always an old head that want to
Yeah.
fight for some reason, man.
I will play to like even if it's 5 people, 6 people. I always prefer to play 21. I always prefer to play 21 because for me, I'm gonna go lock I'm gonna try to play defense, get my legs
you
underneath.
on your own accord.
Yeah, I'm doing my own. So when like I'm doing everything I can, like just on my own, not worried about anybody, bro. But when you play teams with these dudes, it just gets crazy, bro.
There's always that dude that thinks there's an NBA scout in the stands somewhere watching him.
Yeah.
Don't get it.
Yeah.
All right, man. Let's get to it. We're gonna recap last week's 10 Toes trivia. We're gonna go over the questions real quick, and then we're gonna go over the answers for everybody. So, and then we have new questions this week. So let's go over last week. Get this pulled up. Here was the first question from 10 Toes trivia last week.
I can't even remember. I know we had a cranial system one. We had the one with throwing apples.
Yep.
Leave the answers in the comments.
I can't really think of what else we had.
Question 1. In ancient Greece, what does throwing an apple mean?
The baker's dozen with the biscuits.
Jeering, declaration of war, or a sign of friendship.
Those were the ones I remember.
All right, so last week's
California state bird.
Yeah, I grew up in California. I don't even know the California. It's in the question, but it's in the answer, but whatever. First question last week was in ancient Greece. What does throwing an apple mean? What does throwing an apple mean? A declaration of independence or a declaration of love. B, jeering. C, declaration of war. Or D, a sign of friendship. I said a declaration of love just because out of the blue, I was like, let me pick the most absurd answer on this. And that ended up being the answer. The answer was A.
Yeah, I said jeering. Remember, Tua said war.
That's Tua. That's Tua. Tua's war everything. So the answer to last week's question number 1 was A declaration of love. All right, here's question number 2.
You're not number 1. We're number 1.
Bird, the California quail, songbird,
Anna's
hummingbird, or blue jay.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go, right there. We got some fun facts. It comes from Aphrodite. She's the goddess of love. Aphrodite throwing apples at you. All right, what
sounds like a single toxic woman.
That's true. She's the goddess of love with no husband.
You know what I'm saying? She sounds like a single toxic woman. Really, Greek mythology say what they want.
What is the California state bird? Was question number 2. A California quail. B a songbird. C Anna's hummingbird. Or D a blue jay. I think I said it was a blue jay.
I said a songbird.
I shot in the dark. The answer is, surprise, surprise, California quail. What?
Yeah.
What?
I overthought ourselves. I overthought myself on that one.
Yeah, I thought into that one way too much. That's number 2. What's up, Tyler? Serena got the first 2 right. Here goes the question number 3 from last week as Deuce is reading it on the screen.
Question number 3. If you receive a baker's dozen of biscuits, how many biscuits did you actually receive? 12, 11, 15, or 13?
All right. If you receive a baker's dozen of biscuits, How many biscuits did you receive and was they delicious? Tava said 12.
I said 13.
Baker's dozen. I said 13 because I'm fat and I should know this.
I said 13.
The answer is 13. 13 is the answer.
Yep.
I hope y'all got that right. Those of y'all out there. I think Tua said 12. No, Tua said like 15, didn't he?
Yeah. No, he said 12.
He said 12.
He said 12. He said because a dozen's 12. But then when I saw him say of biscuits, I was like, oh no, he added something. Oh, there's got to be one more. It can't be 12.
It's that Baker's dozen, man. That Baker's dozen. And I think what he said, the reason is Baker's would give you an extra biscuit just to say that, so you couldn't go back and say that you didn't get at least 12. Yeah, so he explains it a little bit more in depth, but that's my summary of it.
Yeah.
Tava out here getting wrong. Question number 4 from last week. Here go Deuce.
4. What does that angel share mean when you're distilling alcohol? The residue left over, the portion that evaporated, the discarded alcohol, or the alcohol that was sampled?
What does the angel share mean when you're distilling alcohol? A, the residue left over. B, portion that evaporated. C, discarded alcohol. Or D, alcohol that was sampled. Do you remember what you said on this?
I said sample because it was safe for me because that's the only thing I know. I think I
said the residue left over. The answer is the slow evaporation of distilled spirits. It's B, portion that evaporated. The chat got it right.
I didn't even think an evaporated, like I didn't even know that existed or like was a thing. It just didn't make sense to me. It still doesn't make sense to me.
I didn't know that was a thing. Bless you. Here goes the last question from last week, and then we'll give you this week's questions. I don't got them written out on the screen for y'all, so y'all just got to listen carefully to the video. So, last question from last week.
And then question number 5. How many cranial nerves do we have? 8, 10, 12, or 14? Leave your answers in the comment section below. Let me know what's up. 10 toes.
How many cranial nerves do we have? I probably got like 5. You know what I'm saying? That's not an option on here, but I probably got like 5 right now. I got like 5, maybe 4.
I'm going to have 0 after this damn game.
Ooh, that's tough.
They better get right.
And do it, man. They got it in the 4th. The answer is C, 12. There's 12 cranial nerves. Tava said B, 12. Oh, look at it. 69 what? Oh my gosh. That's a lot of cranial nerves. You got a lot of cranial nerves. What's the craniums? I think I said like 8. I think I said 8. What up, T? That was last week's questions. We're gonna throw out there this week's questions for 10 Toes Trivia. And we're gonna recap next week the actual answers.
Yep.
Mahalo 69. Oh my gosh. All right, let me play this for y'all.
TTE number 1.
TT 292. Tava, that's not what we want, man. That's not what we're looking for, bud. Here are the questions for this week.
I gotta figure this out.
Sorry. I don't even think
I'm just gonna run it old school.
What happened?
Nah, I was trying to figure this out a little. We good. Don't matter.
All right, let me get this rolling. Our boys. All right, here we go.
Oh my god, bro. 6 seconds.
All right, chat. Let me know if you can hear The question. That's all I'm looking for. Oh my gosh. Top of the maiden list. What up, boss? Hold on. He a little quiet. I gotta run it back. Turn it up. All right. Here we go.
Coming to y'all with week 2 for 10 Toes trivia. Let your boy know in the comments what y'all think what the answers is. Question number 1, what is a stone fruit? A.
All right, question number 1 is, what is a stone fruit? It's a little he's a little quiet on here, but
What is a stone fruit?
B. A fruit grown on the ground. C. Fruits with peels. D. Fruits that are round.
all right, so what is a stone fruit? Where are the options at? A fruit grown in the ground. B, fruit with a pit. C, fruit that is round. Or D, fruit with peels. I don't know. I said A, fruit grown in the ground.
I said in the ground.
So what is a stone fruit is the question. We're going to recap the answer next week, so y'all got time to do your research. That's what I'm looking for. Starfish hunting. Tava out here trying to be starfish hunting. Brittany says fruit with a pit. Tava says D, fruit with peels. So what is a stone fruit? That's question number 1. Question number 2. I'm going to let Deuce read it off, and then I'm going to read it off again because his video kind of quiet.
Let me know. Question number 2. What is the Missouri state tree? A. Flowering dogwood. B. A spruce tree. C. A pine tree. D. A river birch.
All right. The question is, what is the Missouri state tree? What is the Missouri state tree? I think A was flowering dogwood. Flowering dogwood. I don't know what B is. I'm just gonna read the
River
answers.
birch.
River birch. C is what, spruce tree?
Yeah, and another was pine, right?
Yeah, pine something. I'll run that back. See if I can run that.
C. A pine. The Missouri state tree. A. Flowering dogwood.
A flowering dogwood.
Tree.
B a spruce tree.
C. A pine tree.
C a pine tree. Or D a river birch.
You Quavo! F Quavo!
Serena says flowering dogwood. Do you know the Missouri state tree? You live in Missouri.
Nah, I don't. I don't.
I'm from California. I didn't even know the California state bird. So
I don't.
That's question number
that
2. That's question number 2. Question number 3.
How many bones are in the human body?
How many bones are in the human body?
A. 180.
I said 200.
B.
Was
That's
A
what I went with.
A 180,
214,
B 214,
C 206,
C 206,
200.
or D 200. I think I said 206.
I said 200.
200? Yeah, I think I said 206. I feel like I learned this in school, but that number, he just got so many similar numbers that I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't learn nothing in school. Which probably brings up the conversation I want to have later. But it is what it is.
we're gonna talk about that. So you said 206, man. Question number 4.
Who founded Nike?
Who founded Nike?
A. Adolf Dassler.
A. Adolf Dassler.
Phil Knight.
B. Phil Knight.
C. Paul Fireman.
C. Paul Fireman.
Or D. Scott Simmons.
Or D. Scott Simmons. Who founded Nike? I'm not even gonna answer this, cause yeah. I know this one. He said, "Wait, am I giving answers for free or what? What do we get to know that?" We don't worry. We keep a track of chat participation. You know what I'm saying? Once we hit July at the end of Tento's trivia, everybody who been participating with us, we got something nice for y'all. Don't worry.
Oh yeah.
Don't worry. So who founded Nike was the question. Here go question number 5.
Question number 5. What year was concrete invented?
What year was concrete invented? I for sure don't know this answer.
A.
I said, what was it? What's the answers? It's like
A,
1820 something.
1893.
B. 1875.
B, 1875.
C. 1824.
C, 1824.
Or D. 1815.
Or D, 1815. I just closed my eyes and pick a year.
I think I said 24.
I just closed my eyes and picked.
Hit the comments
So,
up.
yeah, that's Deuce. All of this random info comes from this dude right here.
Comes from Deuce.
Tento's Trivia. We will recap the answers next week. And, yeah. She said, do the year options again. Okay, I got you. Hold up, let me pull it up. 1883, 1815, 1824, or 1875. I don't know I don't know the answer. But that's your options. What year was concrete invented? She said 1824. All right, we're going to lock you in. We're going to take a look at the answers next week. We're going to keep track. We're going to keep score, lightweight. Unofficially. I got to make sure to enter the unofficially. Because if y'all say that I miscounted your points. Show fall. Next week we're going to have the answers. So if y'all need a recap of the questions, scroll back a little bit and then scroll back to the live so you with us live. All right, man. What's happening? Man, a couple things. So I seen Cam Newton. I posted this in the chat. I see Cam Newton in the in media again. And he's a sports figure, but we're not really talking about the sports figure. We're more so talking about the situation. I'm only paraphrasing this. I'm not going and quoting him exactly. But the conversation was, he's like, females are out here saying I'm a bad bee. I'm independent. I'm by myself. I don't need nobody. I bring myself and everything that comes with me to the table. And he's just like, yo, you can't cook. Shut up. Like, you're a bad bee. You don't bring nothing. All you bring to the table is yourself. And I'm supposed to feel everything else that makes this 100%. No, shut your mouth. If you can't cook, shut your mouth. You don't know when to shut up. That's basically the purpose of what he was saying. That one caught my eye because I looked at it like, that's really kind of the generation we're in right now. Where it's like, I want somebody, whether that be a man looking for a woman or a woman looking for a man, to come and spoil me 100% and give me everything. And you ask them the question of, what do you bring to the table? And they're like, what, myself, me. I bring me. So I want to get your thoughts on that, man. That was an interesting conversation.
That's always been. I feel like there's times. Like I remember. And he was like, man, he said, people talk about you should be able to work a 40-hour week and, like have a stay-at-home wife. He said, but you don't remember, like back in those days, a 40-hour week could sufficiently fund everything you wanted to do. He was like, not just home.
Twice.
He said,
Twice.
He was like, not just home, but you could literally save for your kids, do all this and that. And he said, but now you have to have multiple jobs and multiple avenues of income and this and that. just to begin to put to some of those things, which for me is like, yo, we've been the stress that puts upon a home, then I feel like starts to decide what the factors are of what people want to look for in a spouse or in a partner.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, when you hear that mentality of like she stated in her thing of like, I'm this, I'm that, like, yo, if that's all you're bringing to the table, I'm cool. Like, like I'm cool. That's not good. Like, that's not enough to me for what a partner should bring to a table.
All right.
Like to be the only one that's catered to, and your needs are supposed to be solely based around you and what you want to bring or lack thereof.
And Cam
So, yeah.
Cam Newton's response to it was like, I need someone who be able to take care of me, cater to my needs, because if I'm bringing this to the table, I'm expected to be met with this, right?
Yeah.
And I mean that's that's kind of how I look. What's funny too is when I look at it nowadays, when I hear this quote all the time. I want a good old fashioned man. I want an old fashioned dude. I want chivalry is dead. It's like not necessarily. It's just chivalry has a different definition now. I think.
Yeah.
Like a whole different definition. Like I'm not gonna lie. If my partner was making $1 million a year, I would not be working.
Yeah. And that's like, and again, that's what like that's what I don't get about it is you want something that's required in a time where things are different.
Right.
Like you really do. So that's why like you ask yourself like when you get to a partner, be like, what do you value? And like what do you feel like your role in this is supposed to be? And what do you feel like our relationship is supposed to be? But yeah, like if you can't do core value things, like if you come to the table and you can't cook, cool. But if you're unwilling to cook, then that's a problem.
Exactly.
Like you got to be willing to do the things that's gonna meet our needs on a basis. And if you're unwilling to do those things, cool, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, go on about your business.
Like for me in my relationship, I ain't have to cook in so long that I can't cook. She do all the cooking. She know how to cook, but she hold it down. I can't cook. Not no more. I can buy the hell out of some food, but I can make a hell of a pot of rice. You want a pot of rice? I got you. I'm the best at that. But it's just bringing something to the table. That's one of the things that stuck out to me. What about you, man?
Yeah. So this week in our neighborhood middle school, which we got a couple of them, but it's the middle school to where my wife graduated. There was a stabbing yesterday at the middle school.
At the middle school?
Yeah, there was a stabbing at the middle school, and the kid who got stabbed died after they left. So it was crazy because my cousin's husband, she works there. She intentionally decides to work in the inner city school district because she grew up here. She wants to be a person who's from here for here, and that's her decision. She's a white woman. She's a white woman. She's married to a Mexican Samoan husband, and she makes her decision to, stay here when she has offers to do other things. One of my bros who I went to high school with, he is a mentor and the middle school's basketball coach. He actually, I didn't see his message until right when we got on. He actually messaged me and told me, because we had talked before when we was hooping, he said, man, he mentors all these little boys. And he was like, man, he said, when I coach them, he said, I just realized there's a lot of unhealed trauma that forces its way out on a basketball court. And then he hit me up and, he was like, hey, bro, I know you heard of this. He was just kind of sharing. And he was like, yeah, man, this was like one of my mentors. He was like, I knew there was an issue. My mentees, he was like, I knew there was an issue. He was like, I literally mediated with them yesterday. He came back and told me a concern. He was like, and then it just kind of happened so fast. Because I guess the boy caught him in the restroom during like a down period or something. And so like the first thing that like really stuck out to me was I made like a post like 2 weeks ago where it was wild. People used to fight at 7 a.m. in high school.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then like my comment to that post, like when I shared it was, I said, yeah, I couldn't even get through the metal detectors before people's was wilding.
Facts.
And then there's like a world of people, and it was a world of people was like, y'all had metal detectors, and I'm like, y'all didn't? Yeah, you know
facts. And I asked everybody that.
Yeah, and it wasn't until my junior year when we changed districts that we didn't have metal detectors. But and even back when we did, we had on-site police and stuff too. But like just they took away the metal detectors and you know what I'm saying, just nothing really happened. I feel like the fights and everything stayed the same. I
Hmm.
just you know what I'm saying, it didn't change for me, but the fact that we just had to go through metal detectors. But then it was just like it was a real thing to me that was like there's people who don't know the security and safety in all of these places. So like when I could look at this event here of a kid getting stabbed, and somebody could be like, public schools is bad, whatever, whatever. Like y'all could turn around and talk about how there's private shootings at shootings at private schools
Yeah.
and stuff like that where kids can get in and there are you know what I'm saying, there is no way to check them and you guys don't check these certain things. I feel like, man, it was so crazy that this all kind of just happened like within the last couple hours when we were talking, because I saw another post from a very, very conservative Christian church page. And they was like, how are you going to cancel Disney Plus and still send your kids to public school? And I'm like, this is the reason why nobody wants to mess with y'all, weirdos. I was like, because you think
What?
like the guys are weirdos, bro. I was like, you think isolating yourself and moving yourself away from people is the way to do anything. And then on top of that, I know private school kids who was raised up in private school who literally became the quickest drug addicts in the world.
Oh
Like
man.
all of this stuff, bro. I'm like, you don't know what your kids is like when they become adults. Like you don't know, like, and then it just blew my mind how like there's this like perception of mainly for me of school,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
just of school and where you want to send your kids. Now I was in seventh grade. The other ones are in kindergarten and preschool. And for the last like year, I've been like, I just want to send specifically Nana, being that she's in seventh grade, about to go to eighth. I'm like, I just want to send her to a school that for me, I know is going to help her pique her interest.
Right,
I don't
right.
care where that school is. Like, what school is going to offer the things for her so that she can start to fuel the things she wants to get into? If there is no school, what activities can we find to start to fuel these desires of hers? When people be like, oh, well, the school shouldn't teach your kids. I'm like, for me, I only send my kids to school so they can learn relationships.
Facts.
Like if what the school is teaching is more powerful than what I'm doing at home, don't send your kids to school. Yes,
There's some problems at
like
home.
yeah, that's a problem at home. Because again, I'm a dude who doesn't remember none of the homework that I learned in
Facts.
high school, but I can remember almost every lesson that I did learn from my parents throughout my time in school, from friendships to all this different stuff.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Thomas said, "Man, is spitting facts." I mean, that's the biggest thing, man. When I hear about like, I hear Channing say this all the time from the pivot. He's like, my kids are going to private school because private school is like top of the top. But to me, man, I'm looking at it like I wouldn't change the public school I went to. Yeah, there was metal
Mm-mm.
detectors. Yeah, there was all these different things. But it also taught me how to deal with certain adversities, right?
Yeah,
Especially with how diverse the school was. And I
yep,
mean, I understand as a parent sending your kids to like your alumni schools because there's that sense of like familiarity with, okay, I know where they're at. But
yeah.
but what are your thoughts around like sending your kids to school with family, like where they do have family, where they do have that familiarity with them?
So, and that's where I think the sense of community and investment is what changes school districts, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when we changed, my school changed from KC district to Independence district my junior year. I got to start going over. I started to go to J school a lot at Truman just to hang out because I kicked it with Jay and all the homies was in the city. So when I went over there, I was seeing parents who was still attending games, but their kids have been graduated, and it was weird to me. It was like weird
That's
to me, and
dope.
I was like, yeah, and I was like, why are y'all still showing up? And their response was, this school is in our community. This school is bringing up the next kids who are from this area. They should still have our support, along with their own reasons of like, hey, I like to come watch games. I like to do this. I know my money is going back to the school, which means that should help fuel. And they broke it down so crazy. They was like, if parents show up and spend a $5 ticket, that money goes back to the program for them to do extra things. So then when I go
That's
look at
facts.
yeah, so when I go look at a city school who goes to an away game and only has the people who could fit on the bus and like the five diehard parents fans, and then I see a country school whose whole town drives over to continue to support the kids, then I'm kind of like, yo, like this is kind of like the deal. I'm like, I do believe like there is a fact of like personal investment in your community schools and being so the school that my like, and then I'll even ask them be like, yo, they have alumni who financially give back to the school for no reason. Like they're just like, yo, we want any other kids to have better opportunities, and they would financially give back. And so now you got kids who have nicer facilities who don't have to pay for, who have access to laptops and books because people
Yeah.
are just giving. They're
Because
just giving.
people are showing up.
Yeah,
So it
yeah.
says, then you have more
And I
appreciation for the
literally,
finer
yeah,
things. Material,
I
non-material
literally think that's
appreciate
the
growth and
difference.
empathy.
That's the difference to me in private school is that you've had people fund it so they can just be like, well, we can make our own rules. That's it. That's
Yeah.
why there's a tuition. Like that's why there's a tuition.
I mean,
That
I've
tuition.
never been too much of a fan of private schools. Like, two schools to me immediately stand out here in Utah in the community that
Yeah.
I'm in. Right, first one is
Yeah.
Hunter High School. They had a tragedy happen I want to say a couple months ago, where three Polynesian men, freshman, sophomore, were shot. They got into an altercation. They were shot. Two of them passed away. Unfortunately, one of them still fighting for his life. He's actually in recovery. Matt Asiata's son, he used to be a running back for the Vikings. His son is the only one that survived. But looking at that program over there, shout out to Harold Mulleney and Travis Iono. They're running a football program over there. And I think what they're building over there for the sense of community of West Valley has been dope. The other one that immediately comes to mind is West High School, like downtown Salt Lake. A lot of my siblings went there. A lot of my sisters went there. And to see, the community they've built, bro, there's a lot of people that go to the games who they ain't got no nieces, they ain't got no nephews, they ain't got no kids at that school. But for the fact that, like you said, they live in the community, they live there, and they're like, eventually my nieces and nephews, eventually my cousins are gonna go here. Eventually they'll go here, so I want to be supporting them. So that's dope that people still do that.
Yeah, and it's so like it personally convicted me because a lot of the times I think specifically with school, it's like if it ain't our bloodline there, we just don't care about it. So like I'm sitting here like, yo, when are
Facts.
my nephews gonna go? When are my nieces gonna go? Like, who's gonna play sports? And now I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna start to find a way, just like take my kids and be like, you know what? My old high school, they always send out invites, and I kept a relationship with some of the people over there because we all kind of stay plugged in together. I feel like we're a fairly tight community. Uh, a lot of them are like the coach. When we went to go to our alumni game, he was like, "Man, I appreciate y'all coming out." He said, "Anytime y'all want to come to a game, just hit me up before. Y'all get in for free. Come in, whatever." Like, all right, bet, man, we could definitely get in. So like, I'm just gonna start to take my kids there and get them acclimated to that and to see that again start to build that type of community. Like
Yeah.
if like when I was driving today to go see my brother, it was just really hitting me with like how much change do I really want to see within my community, like that I genuinely can affect. Like what can I do to genuinely, even in the small change, like play my role in a situation.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, do I am I actually standing behind my belief that public school is no worse and can be as beneficial as public school?
Yeah.
And that's my stance.
Yeah. Because as you give your kids more exposure to those environments and those
Yeah,
games, they're gonna naturally kind of grow into that. It's gonna give them
yeah,
another outlet to be able to choose from when they do get
yeah,
to that age. So
yeah. Because Nana's come up in a private Christian school, but their tuition is free, but their only requirement is attendance. And if you miss like 3 days in a semester, your kid's gone. Like, that's it. They provide everything, and they provide a lot of extra stuff. But like even in being under this type of school, she still faces everything a nigga faced in public school. You know what I'm saying? Like she's not exempt from nothing, which I'm cool with. And it's what like I want my kids to deal with. Like I want my kids to have real life. But like I've told my wife for like 3 years now, like I just feel like this school doesn't cater to the things that I know she personally likes. So like we have another school that's a performing arts school. And I'm like, man, why don't we send her there?
yeah.
But it's a hood school. I'm like, just send her there. If she got to bang out with some girls, just let her bang out. You know what I'm saying?
She'll figure it out.
Like, it's a public, like let her go. Let her learn life.
I like what you said. Going to public school helps teach you about building relationships.
That's it. Like, that's it. Like, so I went to what would be a private Christian college, right? That's what I went to. And 5 black people, all of them played on the basketball team.
Starting five.
Yeah, it was like the most colored people that have ever been there, and we all played on a basketball team. And like when I was there, everybody was private school, but they would take mission trips overseas because they wanted to become culturally aware. Like, yo, drive 15 minutes downtown.
Overseas.
Yeah, because missionaries, we got to go help the less fortunate. I'm like, yo, y'all don't have to drive. Yeah, y'all don't have to, raise $10,000 to, fly overseas on a mission trip. But, yo, get in the car with me and let's go 20 minutes down the Prospect. You're gonna see a lot of different things that you probably never seen before.
Come to my neighborhood.
Yeah, I'm like, come to my neighborhood. I'm like, yo, and then like, it's a culture shock for them when they do that. I was like, yo, we're just kind of abandoning some people who are right here. But when you go to public school, you got the Mexicans, you got the
Man.
You're feeling like you're in a melting pot. You're building like you're becoming engaged with everybody, and that's why I will never give that up.
You're literally in the little, like, everybody had a little Mexico, little Cambodia,
little Mexico.
Everybody had a Polynesia. This said the starting five was Vita and his homies, literally.
That's fact. My graduating class was 110 people.
Damn.
My graduating class was 110 people. Like that was it. And we all played. It was like football, basketball, like that together. Now they're a much bigger school and they've grown. But that's why we were so tight and close. Like we were like, yo, we was here, bro. Like we was there.
That's crazy.
And like you can't miss that. You can't. I feel like there's something you just can't replicate, and that's one of the things. That's. But yeah, we was in there. Like except for the dudes, they were like, they got to see like the real good parts of it, but they also went through the struggle too. Like they had a lot of the struggle too. But like they started there when their senior year, the school really turned up, and then they left, and then the school got really, really good. Almost not good sports wise, but just like you can literally see the investments from the outside go to that school.
That's dope.
Like you can literally see it.
All right, so having to do with that same topic, real quick answer. What are 2 topics you would eliminate from school, and what would you replace them with?
So my junior senior year, we actually had a life skills class taught by
that's dope.
Yeah, we had, but it was and she was dope. She was dope because she actually had a foreign exchange student my senior year called Taka Hero. We called him Guitar Hero. And in that So in that life skills class, like she literally taught us like how to balance checks and all of that stuff. So that was something that came in, but it wasn't until my junior year. My other one would definitely be, I wish they would teach people how to. She tried to teach us how to fill out like a W-2 and a 401 stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
so
yeah, tax forms.
Yeah, so she was really in the game with us, bro. She was really in the game with us. She was for the peoples, bro. She was really trying to educate us on that. We had a cooking class. For me personally, I wish there was more of like a life skills class.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm not good at fixing cars or none of that.
Oh,
mainly because I learned from a Samoan parent, and we just know how that is, right? It's like it's stupid.
Punch some stuff, kick some stuff.
Yeah.
Pull some stuff out, put it back in.
I don't think I don't have an inability to learn. I know as much as my teachers taught me. That's all I'm gonna say. I've learned as much as I was taught.
Oh, that ain't the truth.
Two subjects. You know what? Get rid of sex ed in school. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
Especially in this point in time right now, I feel like in this day and age, our generation, and a little bit forward. Yeah, our generation. If you can't have a orientation talk with your kids at home, the schools does not need to be doing that. So yeah, I'm cool on the whole schools teaching sex ed stuff. Like I'm 100% good on that.
Seven said my name is in the Hall of Fame. I'm taking all my credit. So taking out sex ed. What else are we gonna take out?
We're taking out sex ed, and we'll also take out.
Chat, man, tap in. Chat, what do y'all think too?
I'm not even gonna lie. I really feel like some of that math is unnecessary.
Oh my God.
I feel like some of that math is unnecessary.
Geometry was a waste of time.
Yeah, I didn't feel like it's necessary. I feel like those should be for people who are literally going to go in that area. That's it.
So you would replace them with like life skills, and then
life skills, and we also had a thing here. It's called like vocation school. You were allowed to if you already met your requirements to go take. So like some people will be able to leave. Some people will be able to leave to go like do nursing stuff, whatever.
Oh, that's tight.
So Yeah, so this was my junior year after like we was able to have access to some of these things. I didn't care for any of them. So Miles freaking Bridges! I hate this guy! Take his cap off! Oh my God! I'm done with him!
That's a
Don't
passionate
pay
fan.
him!
He said,
Don't pay him!
I'm
Let him go!
Say I'm getting some hate, but seminary, I mean, half the time kids were skipping class to go off campus. Oh, facts. If you grew up LDS, bro, it's called seminary.
Taking this crap off.
Take seminary out. I would probably take away. He took all the Charlotte stuff off.
I'm off.
My son said, "What's wrong with that guy?" Oh, that's passion, son. That's passion. That is passion.
I hope we don't pay you, you stupid man.
Hey,
number one, most champions ever. Silly guys. All you do is embarrass me all the time. Or we can watch the show.
Go Lakers!
Watch the rest of this stupid stuff. Turn it off.
Oh man!
Since y'all won a 2 night of the season, why should I care? All right, I'm out of here, y'all. All right, y'all.
Yeah, well, that's the Hornets. That's the Hornets for you. I mean,
I'm out of here.
We just gonna move on, man. We just gonna move on.
This is dumb.
That actually takes us into the next topic.
I'm out of here. This is dumb. There, I turned off the game. No more game.
Y'all about to get.
They don't want to play. I don't want to play.
Y'all about to get a passionate response to the next topic, which is quit playing. Quit playing. Yeah, the NBA play-in tournament.
I'm glad that the Pelicans and Spurs are playing today. Those guys, some real teams. Idiots. Matter.
Oh man. Hey, yeah. Let's just talk about your Hornets, man. Let's not even your. We're not gonna talk about your Hornets.
They get too much money from me to keep getting embarrassed like this. I'm cool on them for a minute. I'm cool on them for a minute. I'm out of here. I'm not about to. If they don't want to show up to the stadium, why should I? Why should I show up if they don't want to show up? This is dumb.
Oh.
Miles Bridges better not get $1. Send him somewhere else. This is dumb. I'm out of here.
Hey, we'll take it.
Not my one. When AD's healthy, you guys don't stand a chance. Number one.
Go Lakers. Take Russ. Take Russ. Give us Gordon. Take Russ. Give us Gordon, please.
Team deserves nobody.
Oh, man. Go. That was a perfect transition into the play-in conversation that we're going to have. Let's start yesterday, man, with Brooklyn versus Cleveland. KD and Kyrie versus that young Cleveland squad, man.
Mm-hmm. No Jared, once you saw no Jared Allen, it was just like, it was a fight uphill, man. Yeah, once you number one.
Number one.
Yeah, once I saw God, I really feel like Jared Allen makes that game a game. Like I do. And no Jared Allen for the Cavs. I was just like, it's tough, man. We always talk about it, man. Being healthy towards the end of the season is what matters the most. And them missing Jared Allen just was it. And if they miss Jared Allen again next Friday's game, yeah, man, I think they're just going to have to hang it up, which is going to suck for them, man, because they was balling. Cavs was balling, man.
It was down what? It was down 6 in the final, like the final 2 minutes?
Yeah, they came.
That says a lot, man. That says a lot. They came back.
Yeah, they did.
You think they got it next week against Atlanta?
I'm literally going off of Allen. I'm literally going off of Jared Allen. That's who I'm basing it off of. So that I don't. think Cavs playing the Hawks, they shouldn't have to play like this idiot team does. And Evan Mobley can play big man against Clint Capella,
And
and then the
Okongwu.
perimeter can play. Yeah, Okoro, Darius Garland. I feel like they'll definitely be able to hold their own. Even without Allen, I still do think it's a match. I definitely would look a little more, but I knew when they didn't have Allen versus the Nets, I was like, it's a wrap, bro.
Cool.
Like that, they can't take that one.
We'll keep an eye out, see what that looks like. Friday. That's actually what, in 2 days?
Yep.
2 days. What was the other playing game that we had yesterday?
Yesterday, Timberwolves.
The Timberwolves and the Clippers.
I didn't pay attention to none of that. Game because like I was already halfway to bed. But the fact that Pat Bev celebrated the way he did, and it's not even that, but it was the fact that the Clippers was up too, and I guess they just kind of soiled it. I was like, yo, damn. I was like, I didn't. I was kind of taken by that.
Paul George just, man, the way I saw it when I was watching that game, Paul George's tank was just empty, bro.
Yeah.
And what I really saw too was the Timberwolves were able to bring in McDaniels and who else did they bring in? They got two. They just got two wing defenders they're long. They switched everything. It was crazy.
And so the T-Wolves, and we've been saying this about the T-Wolves. Karl Anthony Towns has been in the league too long. Anthony Edwards is an all-star player, and Russ is a good point guard. Like you have to put it together this year at least and get into the playoffs, and they did. So like, I definitely don't think they really stand a chance in the first round against Memphis, but the fact that they made it there is something that could be like, all right, cool. Y'all got there. I think for them, it's just going to be the fact of gaining this experience. So,
Seth said the Hornets court did not show up at all when they needed to. That's
why none of them.
That inexperience, man. That they young team.
It's the fact that Miles Bridges is a regular season dude. Like, I'm not about to pay somebody if 2 years in a row you fold in a playing game. I'm not about to do it, bro. Like, you average 20 on a career high year, barely scratched it, but he's not a PJ Washington outplayed him today from the jump.
Damn.
PJ Washington played him out throughout the entire course of the game. Miles's game is not meant for the playoffs because he's not as consistent of a shooter as he should be. And then it's better defense in the playoffs, bro. Clint Capella took a charge on him because you put your shoulder down. Like, that's it, bro. Like, that's a wrap. Like, I wouldn't, like, you should have took your contract before. I'm glad you bummed out now, because if you asking for that money, see you, cuz. Gone somewhere.
He acting real Dennis Schroeder-ish right now.
Yeah, like, you not, like, it's cool. Turn your money down. Go and hit the road. We don't need you, bro. Like, that's, like, Melo, he's a roller. Like we've said it, he's a roller coaster. My man's was 3 for 15, bro. 3 for 15 in the first half, bro.
That's tough.
3 for 15, because he has to, like, they let so many, the first quarter, they just let so many open threes. And I'm like, bro, why are y'all so scared of Clint Capella? Y'all trying to double him down there, bro. Like, if Clint want to drop 30 in a win, let him do that. I'm not letting Bogdanovich and Herter shoot. And they just let them shoot at will, bro.
Bogdanovich and Herter, those two dudes,
yeah.
They nice, though. They nice.
Yeah. And they were strapped up. Trey had a bad first half. He was like 1 for 9 in the first half. Came out killing in the third. Who was it? Hunter. DeAndre Hunter had 16 in the third. 7 for 8. 16 in the third.
Since he been healthy, like, man.
Yeah.
It ain't going to be a problem in the playoffs.
Yeah, so it's like they have to do something different at this point. This 2 years in a row, play and mess up. Miles has failed both years in the playoffs, both years in the play-in. Cool. You're expendable, bro. Gordon Hayward, we won without you. You got your money, though. Cool, you can sit it out. Nick Batum, it don't matter. They got to figure something else out. Rozier bummed out.
7 for 25 turnovers.
Yeah, Rozier bummed out. Rozier is a good guy, but my hope comes in the last year's draft class. Next year, Book Knight, Kai Jones, and JT Thor, all of them should step up in all of their roles seamlessly. Just step in, let them play, let these guys go.
I guess rid of Rozier, Hayward,
Rozier will still be here. He'll play. Oubre got a 2-year deal, so we still technically have him for one more. Rozier should still have one more year. But, bro, even if they're on the roster, bro, take their time off, bro. Let Book Knight let Kai and let JT go play.
LaMelo 7 for
LaMelo
22.
can't, and LaMelo has to get to the point of his game where he could successfully run a half court offense without needing dribble handoffs.
Mm.
Like he can make his moves, but it was like 6 possessions in the second quarter where we would push it, miss, Atlanta will stop it, bring it up, and then Trey and them would just set up one simple
That
play,
pick and
and it
roll.
was a bucket. Yeah, it was a bucket. They did one specifically where they said a backdoor flop screen for Herter, but Isaiah Thomas was on him, and they was just like, all right, all y'all gonna move, yeah, all y'all gonna move up. He just threw a lob to Herter. Like the Hornets don't do simple things like that. Like a lot of stuff has to be dribble handoffs, using people's momentum against them. And when you play a disciplined team, that stuff doesn't work, bro.
Especially in the
That's why I said,
playoffs.
yeah, especially that's why I said I fear if the Hornets was to bring Bridges back, our ceiling would be Phoenix, the Nash-led Phoenix Suns. We would be just this team.
Ooh.
That's they're just this team that's just high scoring, and then that's it.
Tie playoffs
You
down
have
the
to.
half court sets. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
and
You getting fouled if you got a fast break.
team. We are not a half court team. We're not. We don't have. You're gonna see a lot of dribble handoff stuff like that. That's it. We are not a half court team, and that's when I start to look at the fact that like you can't. We can run a half court when Gordon's in the game, only because Gordon has a consistent mid range.
Mm-hmm.
That's
He can control the floor.
Yeah,
Control
he
space.
could. Yeah, he has a pace to him. He has a pace to him. Nobody else has that pace to him. Like Terry can, but he's a microwave.
All right,
He's a microwave.
Question for you. What are your thoughts on the celebration yesterday from the Minnesota Timberwolves?
Nah, I'm not gonna lie. You win like anything, bro. I'm really not gonna trip. Because again, that's your game. They said I'm not gonna trip off that celebration. It is for me. It's too excessive, but I mean, hey man, y'all broke a playoff drought record.
Well, 16
You know
years?
what I'm saying? Yeah, 16 years.
16 years. To me, man,
Yeah,
like
so-
I appreciate the celebration, right? I appreciate it was a little excessive. I appreciate the celebration just because I think we look at it in nowadays like if you ain't winning a championship, don't celebrate anything. Which I think as fans we've almost been conditioned to believe that too, where it's like you can't celebrate anything. Like Pat Bev, he was emotional because he asked the Clippers last year, he was like, pay me or trade me. They gave him an offer of like, here's just above the vets minimum. We'll give you this for 3 years. He was like, nah, pay me or trade me. So they traded him. It came back. He was a key piece of winning that game. Without Pat Bev, they don't win that game. So I understand his celebration.
Yeah, and when I heard his reasoning after, I was like, okay, cool. Like that team gave up on him, and he was able to beat them to continue to move on. So like, I completely understand Pat Bev's part of it. And so
pretty excessive, but gotta like the passion. I was laughing how all the tweets this fool cool said. He said, "Did they win the chip?"
Yeah,
but hey, man, it is what it is, man. Hey, celebrate your wins. It is, do your thing. 16 years not in the playoffs, and y'all finally in the playoffs. Just to get 4-0'd by Grizzlies.
See, and this is where I think I'm not gonna say it's gonna be bad, but this is where we get to see Towns. I think this is where Towns has to become the separator. I think Towns just has to like take his. I know we depend on stars a lot, and you depend on cast, but this is gonna be Karl Anthony Towns and Anthony Edwards' first shot in the playoffs. This is where we're gonna be able to see how his game can translate into the playoffs. And I think his game is perfect for the playoffs because he is that like big play, but he gets hot and cold. Every player does. I just don't know how his supporting I don't know how his supporting cast is gonna hold up.
I think Towns is gonna get stonewalled against Steven Adams. You're playing against a dude who's primarily on the defensive end. He ain't worried about doing not a damn thing on the offensive end. So on offense, when you're playing defense, you just pretty much gonna be following the dude around that's gonna be setting screens. You're gonna have switches with Ja Morant. That's what you're gonna be doing all game. And then when you guard in, Triple J, you got a very, very, very versatile big. So it's like,
and that this is what we're gonna get to see if Towns shooting can space the floor. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna get to see that part of it. Like Towns says, he's a shot. So see if you can bring Adams out and open the lane up for Edwards.
Yep. Random, but do we see the Jazz doing anything in the playoffs? Honestly, no, not at all. The last 2 years, the last 3 years, the Jazz have had the best record out of All-Star. Best record out of All-Star weekend.
Oh, yeah.
This year, they're nowhere near that. I think Snyder is starting to see and starting to miss Ingles way too much.
Yeah.
Ingles being a slow motion dude and the way he plays, they're a half court offense even in the regular season. So not having Ingles and another person to initiate the offense and having to put it all on Donnie and old man Conley, I don't know, man. Snyder out of there.
So I think Snyder's out of there regardless, just because the GM that just came to Utah this year,
Yeah,
Danny Ainge, right?
Danny Ainge, yeah.
He was Boston's guy when they was making all of those moves.
Oh yeah.
So I think we're gonna see a. Remember, when we see a lot of these moves, we have to remember who was in ownership and who was in power. And if Danny Ainge did all that stuff when he was with Boston, he's going to do all that stuff in Utah. Remember, D-Wade's part owner with Utah. So I think over the next 3 years, very quickly. Oh, damn, I didn't want to see that final score pop up on my phone. Stupid! Number one!
Oh, man.
Number one! Dumb, bro. 132 to 103. Ballin gonna freaking roast me all season. This is gonna be trash.
29
This is gonna be trash. This is dumb as hell.
Hey, one thing I hope for the Lakers is that we don't go hire Quinn Snyder. I know he's high on the list, whether they say it out loud or not, but please don't hire him.
We're gonna do something, because usually, y'all, what I would do at this point in time, y'all know it, they know it. When the season ends, I usually go on 2K and I start doing all my off-season things I would do for a team, right? This year, maybe we could all do it together. But the one thing I would do if I'm the Lakers is I'm hiring in-house, like you said. It's either Fizdale or who's the other guy you said?
Phil Handy. Phil Handy.
You listen. Hire in-house. Hire in-house. You keep Russ. You keep LeBron. You keep AD. All three of them have to stay. You keep them. They haven't had the time to play together. Give them the time to play together. Just literally give them the time to play together. Because when Nick Wright brought up that stat and he was like, the Lakers have the least amount of minutes played by any starter. Like, if you have inconsistency in your starting lineup, especially due to health, like, it's going to be very tough to gauge the barometer of your success. Yep. So, you know what? Hey, take this one on the chin. Don't abandon that. Keep those three. Because Vogel
had to be the scapegoat. Like, you had to have a scapegoat. Yeah. Somebody had to be a scapegoat.
Yeah. So, you just have to take this one on the chin. Trust me, just take this one on the chin. And we're going to do more NBA stuff now that a lot of teams are finding their way out, and we're getting into it, and I don't want to take up more time from our playing conversation. But yeah, I think Utah, because of the Luka injury, Utah should get past the first round. If Utah doesn't get past Dallas because of the Luka injury, fire everybody. Fire absolutely everybody. You know what I'm saying? Send everybody anywhere for anything. Gobert
gotta go. I've been saying this for 5 years now. Gobert gotta go. He gotta go.
I think that's
Send him.
Yeah, send him. Like, just I think it's just time for a retool. I think you're maxed out on that team. You got to figure out what to do with that. You just got to. I think, but with the Luka injury, and they didn't have a timetable. I haven't seen one for when he comes back. But yeah, if y'all can't get out the first round with a hobbled Luka, you deserve what's gonna come to you. I think so. So now that we have the last play-in game coming. Stupid Hornets, bro. Now that we have the last play-in game coming, San Antonio Spurs versus the Pelicans up right now. They're about to get started. What's your thoughts on this game? Did you see the 360 windmill from Zion at warm-ups?
I did.
Today.
I did.
He did it today.
He playing them. He's playing,
bro.
He's playing.
I think New Orleans is playing us all.
I think they are too. I think so. What they trying to do? This is their version of tank.
That's like,
they knew they had players that wasn't gonna give up. They got BI. They got they got Graham over there. They got CJ McCollum. They got dudes that are not gonna lose. They hate losing. So it's like, cool. We're just gonna keep our centerpiece on the bench so that you can visually see these guys got to the playoffs without you.
Yeah.
You put you in there. What are we? A 5 seed? A 4 seed?
Yep.
Are we that good?
Yep.
But I think they get past the Spurs today, and then I think they win next week against the Clippers. Only because the Clippers they go as Paul George is gonna go. And Paul George got gassed out.
So today I got the Spurs. I got the Spurs because of the strength of Popovich, DeJounte, and Keldon Johnson. I'm gonna expect good games from those three to get past them today. I think I just think Pop has enough to get through this game. I think they're gonna figure out a way with that. I think DeJounte Murray, like I said, and Johnson should. I feel like those three should put up enough of a game to where they can get by. I think it's gonna be a close game. I feel like it's gonna be a close game. 7% predictions for Zion. I think Zion's walking into the league next year 100% on some MVP status.
Oh yeah,
I really do. Like Zion's gonna walk back. People forget like the dominance he had in the time that he was on the court. So like
you see his build too. That man put to rest the fat build real quick.
Yes, and that's why like I hate how people do that to players. Like I just hate that part. Period. But I think Zion's gonna walk into the league next year, and he's gonna be both. He's gonna be first team both sides of the ball. I think it's I think he's gonna be first team both sides of the ball. I really do. You know
who I think? You know who I'm gonna compare him to? I don't like comparing players too often, but since we haven't seen Zion for a season and a half, we're gonna see a young Blake Griffin next year.
Yeah, we're gonna. I think that's what we're gonna see, and I think the last thing they need to do is I know Gilbert Arenas said, "Bro, you're 6'6", 6'7", like you should just
go be a shooting guard."
I'm like I disagree with that so much because his dominance is where he's at, and he's not a bad shooter. He's not a bad shooter, but he's a bad ball handler. So don't try to make him develop that because he's shown he's quick enough and versatile enough, and he's efficient enough to only need 2-3 dribbles.
Yep.
Like he doesn't need that much. So we don't have to ask him to do more of that. So Zion's gonna walk in, he's gonna be a top 7 scorer in the league. He's gonna probably be right under 10 rebounds. I give him like a blocking, like a 0.6, 1.7, 1.6 blocks, probably 1 and 1 on blocks and steals.
He's gonna get at least 6-7 assists easy.
Yeah. He's gonna tear it up. Zion truly is. I believe by the end of next year, people are gonna be like, man, why was we talking about this dude like this? Oh yeah. Like, why was we talking about this dude like this? He really is that dude.
They're gonna be back. I think we'll be back on the Zion hype train for sure. And then they'll actually have a face to put against Ja. Because right now, to me, Ja is clearly the league face, the young face of the league. Ja is that dude. They want to continue to, for it to be Luka. Luka can't stay healthy. Luka's that dude. Don't get me wrong. People have seen in the past me slander Luka just because y'all hype him up too much. But we'll see, man. We'll see what it looks like. Playing Spurs, Pelicans tonight. We'll see what happens there.
Yep. Good there.
But
so we got an 80s bracket coming up, y'all. We have an 80s bracket coming up. We want everybody's suggestions on songs from the 80s. One rule, as we're gonna go through each decade, 80s, 90s, 2000s, and 2010s. There's no Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson has been blacklisted.
Michael Jackson has been banned. Michael Jackson has been banned. So there's no Michael Jackson. We're done with Michael. We tried, y'all, and we just couldn't even find it in our own hearts. So 80s music bracket gonna be starting. So if you have any suggestions over the period of time, like between now and next week, shoot them to us. Any songs you like that you think should make it. We're only looking for 16 because we're gonna take the final 4 from each decade's bracket and we're gonna put them in our all music bracket. So whoever makes the final 4 from each decade will then go to our big bracket, randomize, and then we'll run it from there.
80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s, and today's music.
Yep. And then today's music, and then we're going to put it in big bracket, and we're going to go for it, y'all. So that's what we're going to do.
Yep. So you don't get canceled again for your Luka takes. Yo, TikTok hated me for those.
Yeah.
TikTok hated me.
TikTok also hated us because before the year we said we would take John Morant over Mitchell and Fox, and we got called casuals, and look how that went for them.
We also said last year that the Grizzlies would be where they at, and they were like, no.
Yeah. So it is what it is. It is what it is. Is there anything else, Soy?
No, man, that's everything. That's everything.
Good, because I gotta go soak and cry and get ready to go to the gym. So if you're done with today, I would also like to be done with today because I am over this bull crap. I'm over this.
That's tough.
Stupid
All right,
guys.
y'all. Like, subscribe, tell your friends to join us.
Thank y'all, man.
Share our videos to your people so they can come and join us in the conversation, man. We appreciate y'all. We'll see y'all next week.
Next Wednesday. Let's go, y'all.
Have a good one, y'all.